AITAH for secretly doing a DNA test on my niece because I didn't think she was my brother's child? I, 35F, have always been the responsible one in the family. I'm organized, logical, and I have a keen sense for when something doesn't feel right. My family has relied on me for years to sort things out, solve problems, and step in when things go wrong. In my opinion, I understand people and situations better than most, and I've always been able to see things that others don't. Now, let me give you some background on the current situation. My younger brother, Mark, 31M, recently had a baby with his girlfriend, Lisa, 29F. Lisa and I have never really clicked. From the moment Mark introduced her to the family, I had my reservations. Lisa is, frankly, irresponsible and immature. She's never had a stable career, and she's always jumping from one hobby to another, never fully committing to anything. I've never thought she was the right fit for Mark, but I kept quiet, for the most part, because I didn't want to cause drama. When Lisa announced her pregnancy, I was shocked. I didn't think they were ready for a child, and frankly, I wasn't even sure if the baby was Mark's. The timing seemed suspicious to me. They had been on and off for a while, and suddenly, she's pregnant? Something didn't sit right with me. But again, I didn't say anything at first because I knew it would cause tension in the family. Fast forward to when the baby was born. I went to visit Mark and Lisa in the hospital, and the moment I saw the baby, my suspicions were confirmed. The baby, let's call her Emma, didn't look anything like Mark. She didn't have his nose, his eyes, or any of our family features. I tried to bond with Emma, but every time I held her, she would cry or squirm. It felt like we had no connection whatsoever, and I couldn't shake the feeling that this baby wasn't really my niece. I thought about it for weeks, stewing over the idea that Lisa had tricked my brother into thinking this baby was his. I couldn't just sit back and watch my brother raise a child that might not even be his, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. One day, while visiting Mark and Lisa, I offered to babysit Emma so they could have some time to themselves. They were grateful for the break, and I took the opportunity to collect a sample of Emma's DNA using a swab kit I had purchased online. I know it sounds extreme, but I was convinced I was doing the right thing. If Emma wasn't Mark's child, he deserved to know the truth. I sent the test off, feeling certain that it would confirm my suspicions. In fact, I was so sure of myself that I arranged for a family meeting once the results came in. I thought it would be better to handle this as a family, where we could support Mark as he processed the news. I even prepared a speech in my head about how I had done this out of love for my brother, to protect him from being deceived. The day of the meeting came, and I opened the envelope in front of everyone. My parents, Mark, Lisa, and even a few close relatives were there. But when I read the results, I was completely stunned. Emma was 100% my brother's child. I couldn't believe it. I had been so certain that Lisa was lying, but the test proved me wrong. I was still in shock when everyone else started reacting. Lisa burst into tears, and Mark looked at me like I had betrayed him in the worst possible way. My parents were silent at first, but then my dad said something like, "Well, at least now we know for sure," as if what I had done was somehow justified. My mom, on the other hand, started scolding me, asking how I could do something so invasive and hurtful. Lisa, understandably, was furious. She grabbed Emma and stormed out, telling Mark that she didn't want to see any of us again. Mark was livid too. He said I had crossed the line and that I had no right to meddle in his relationship or question his child's paternity. He told me that he and Lisa were going no contact with me, and as far as he's concerned, I'm no longer a part of their lives. I tried to explain that I did this out of concern for him, that I didn't want him to be lied to or trapped in a relationship based on deceit, but he wasn't having it. He said that I had violated their trust in the worst way possible and that he never wanted to speak to me again. Since then, my parents have been divided. My dad thinks I was right to do the test because, in his words, you can never be too careful these days. My mom, however, is angry with me and says I've destroyed my relationship with Mark and potentially damaged his relationship with Lisa. She thinks I should apologize and try to make things right, but I don't see why I should apologize for trying to protect my brother. Here's where things get even more complicated. I genuinely don't think Lisa is a good mother. I've seen how she handles Emma. She's careless and always distracted. Emma cries constantly when she's with Lisa, and it breaks my heart. I've tried to tell Mark that Lisa isn't fit to be a mother, but he just shuts me down. Now that I know for sure that Emma is his, I feel even more protective of her. I believe Mark deserves better than Lisa, and Emma deserves better than Lisa as a mother. I'm seriously considering taking legal action to try and gain custody of Emma. I know it sounds extreme, but I can't stand the thought of Emma being raised by someone who isn't capable of being a good parent. I've already spoken to a lawyer, and they said it could be possible if I can prove that Lisa is unfit. Mark has completely cut me off, but I believe that once he sees how irresponsible Lisa is, he'll understand why I did what I did. I still love my brother, and I want what's best for him and his daughter. I don't think Lisa is what's best for either of them, and I believe that in time, Mark will see that too. My parents are trying to mediate, but I don't see why I should apologize when all I did was try to protect my family. I didn't do this out of malice, I did it because I love my brother, and I want what's best for him. The fact that everyone is mad at me for doing the DNA test is frustrating because if the results had come back the way I thought they would, everyone would be thanking me for uncovering the truth. So, AITAH for secretly doing a DNA test on my niece and for believing that I'm the only one who really understands what's best for my brother and his child?